Howdy folks, and welcome back. Hope you guys are all blessed and doing okay out there. Well, for today's video, I present to you There Goes a Police Car reaction and review. This was the next video that Dave put out, and this introduced us to a new character, or his partner, Becky Borg. She would make several appearances throughout the series, but this was her very first. This was released in... Let me look up the date right quick. I always like to give out the date before I talk about the video. One sec, please, guys. July 27th, 1994. In this program, we're going to learn about police work and the vehicles they use, and this takes place in Los Angeles, California, Los Angeles County. Los Angeles means City of Angels. This city is known for a lot of things, including Hollywood, but before There Goes a Police Car, there were some other police programs filmed out there, including My Favorite Dragnet and Adam 12. Anyway, let's take a look and see what this one has to offer. But first, my disclaimer. I am not paid, sponsored, or endorsed to upload this video. I am not making any money off of it, nor do I claim the rights or anything from it. This is being done for fun, educational, preservation, historical, and fun purposes only. All credit goes to the respected owner and creator of this content and the original film you're about to see. Get it? Got it? Good. Also, I have a child connection. Blah, blah, blah. Pardon me, folks. I have a childhood connection to this program because when I was a kid, I had this on videotape growing up. So it's nice to look back and watch it every now and then. And the YouTuber uploaded this is Train Movies and Others. Alright, let's take a look at There Goes a Police Car.
We've all seen police cars, but have you ever wondered what's inside them and how they work? Well, get ready to learn, because there goes a police car.
Hey, there goes a police car. Hey, it goes a police car.
Look at that. Wow. I've always wondered what kind of police cars are they showing in this program. To be honest, guys, I'm not too familiar with cars and trucks, mostly railroads and trains, as you know. But I do know one of the best cars police officers used was the Ford Crown Victoria. You guys know what they're showing? Let me know in the comments. And also, what kind of helicopters are we going to see and everything else? If you know the types of vehicles they're showing in this program, tell me.
There's more than just cars, because police and sheriffs help us wherever we are, in the cities, on the beaches, or in the mountains. So they use all kinds of vehicles and very different equipment for each job they do.
I'll say.
Hi, kids. I'm Deputy Dave.
And I'm Deputy Becky, but we're not real police officers.
Now, the real police officers have agreed to let us pretend for the day so that all of us can learn all about police officers, their jobs, and about the great vehicles they use, like this terrific car.
247, David, come in for a call.
247, David! Answer it! It's an emergency! Don't answer the thing, answer the thing!
I can't.
Dave! No, that's the monitor. Okay, hold on. I got it. Turn that off. Deputy Becky and Deputy David in pursuit. Thank you.
Thank you. Say thank you. Probably 10-4 or something.
Get going!
You're supposed to say 10-4 or
That's
something.
it. I'm taking over.
I don't know.
Her introduction. What a good opening for Becky's introduction to the series, guys. I just love it. And throughout the series, she's almost as big a mess as Dave is when it comes to this stuff. And that's one thing I've always liked about these characters. They do great together on set. Oh, Lord, the fun they can have together.
Kids, I'm Deputy Chapin. What I'm wearing is a typical deputy sheriff's uniform. I am wearing a bulletproof vest and a Sam Brown, and we carry a magazine with extra bullets in it in case we need it. That's what a magazine looks like. We also use radios. It's a county-wide radio. I can talk anywhere in the county with this radio. We also have flashlights in case even in the daytime we go into a dark place, we need flashlights. I always carry a flashlight. We also carry handcuffs. In case we arrest somebody, we need to put the handcuffs on them, place them in the back seat of our car. Something very important is our guns. Every deputy sheriff carries a gun, and we only use them in emergency situations. Most of the times when deputies go out, they never need to use their guns, but in emergency situations, we are prepared. Nobody should use a gun unless they are properly trained with a weapon. Here's our patrol box. We carry extra equipment in this. This is my patrol box for inside the car. Carries reports. I take notes on it. Inside my bag, I also carry a camera in case there's an accident. I need to take pictures. And our tactical helmet. In case things get a little bit busy, we need some extra protection. We just strap it on, pull down the visor, and ready for business.
Phone's vibrating. I'm not getting a call, guys. I think it's just my charger acting up. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is 1994. I'm gonna plug my charger. Sorry. Back then, police work was a bit different compared to what it is now, and things have gotten like way more advanced. Other attachments police have added to their belt include mace or pepper spray, and a taser, and a foldable nightstick. Back then, though, this was ahead of its time, I think. And a lot of things are still used today in police work, but a lot more advanced. Motorcycle.
Oh boy. One of the most common vehicles you'll see a police officer driving is the motorcycle. And its main use is for traffic control. That's because it's small enough to maneuver in and around cars, and it's fast enough to catch the bad guys. And here is Officer Harry.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for showing us the motorcycle. Want to tell us about it a little bit?
Well, this is a Kawasaki Police 1000 that's manufactured especially for police work. It's about the same bike as you can buy.
And how fast does it go?
120.
Ooh, like that. Now I want to try the siren.
Okay.
Okay.
Turn on a few switches here. You can
Use the button?
that button.
Ooh, nice.
Push it the other direction.
Okay. How neat. Any more sounds? Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, now you have the radio here,
Yes.
and then you can talk back about arresting someone, back to the police station.
Or chasing someone.
Or chasing someone.
Or talk to my partner.
And then you
or
have-
talk to the helicopter.
Right. You have lights in the front,
Yes.
lights in the back,
So that.
and then you have what, the radio in here,
Uh-huh.
and then what's in the black box?
We carry our supplies in here, road flares, citation
Oh,
books,
can I see
and that
one?
kind of thing. Let's show your road flare.
Oh, yeah. This is really neat. Well, I suppose you have to get back to work now, don't you?
I think so.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
No problem. Bye.
You don't see police motorcycles very much. I mostly see police cars, but still, it's pretty cool.
Sometimes you just can't see enough from the ground. When looking for lost people or chasing the bad guys, it helps to be up in the air. That's where the helicopter comes in.
One of my favorite parts of the whole episode is when he shows us the helicopter.
All right, before we get on board, let's take a look at some of the gadgets you'll find on the outside of the helicopter. That big ball mounted underneath, the big black ball, that's a FLIR. That's the official word, but what it really is an infrared heat sensing device. It picks up heat images. So if a bad guy is hiding in the bushes or if a kid is missing in the woods, it helps them spot their body heat. Off to the left is a great big spotlight, and that is so powerful that if it flies over and they shine it on you at night, it's almost like having the sun out.
Yep.
On the very front, you'll find a sharp thing. Looks kind of like one half of a pair of scissors. Sometimes the helicopters have to fly low, and it's very dangerous because there's a lot of telephone lines and things. If it should run into one of those telephone lines, that device will cut the line and allow the helicopter to continue. So if you're ready, I'm ready.
Let's go fly.
Now you'll have to listen carefully because it's very hard to hear while inside a noisy helicopter.
Yeah, Dave, the reason the Sheriff's Department has helicopters and we use them so much is it provides us with an excellent platform to see bad guys on the ground and kids on the ground. We're able to stay up about 400 or 500 feet. We can look at a whole big 3 or 4 house area, no problem. And it doesn't require as many deputies. Now, give me an explanation of this device here. This is where the floor on the bottom of the helicopter can actually see warm things on the ground, like warm people and things like that. Correct. What we can do is we actually pick up heat sources. Sometimes it's people, sometimes it's objects. This TV screen right here is what we call a FLIR, forward-looking infrared, and it picks up a thermal device.
I'm not sure if you guys could hear what they were saying, but they were talking about the helicopter and how it works, like the forward and infrared looking camera and everything else it's used. Pretty cool though. Helicopters are still noisy, but that is a great tool to have to look over stuff if you're looking for somebody. Here we go.
Hi kids, my name is Deputy Jeff. We're sitting inside a typical police car that we drive nowadays, and we're just going to show you some of the equipment that we use here. Starting down here, we have our police radio. The radio enables us to talk back and forth to the desk. We can get calls over it, or we can talk back and forth by switching the different channels to other deputies or policemen out in the field. Up above that, we have our siren and our light bar. By simply turning the switch here, we can turn on our red, yellow lights or the rotating lights that you see going around all the time. Also, by switching this, we can make the siren go off if we ever need to stop anybody out in the streets. Up here we have the state-of-the-art, it's called a mobile digital computer. Basically what it is, it's just a computer system that's hooked up. It allows us to run vehicle license plates, people, things like that. I've typed in my license plate here, and you can see it'll give me a return on the car, and it'll show that it's registered to me and that everything is current on the car. Also, it allows us to receive calls over the computer here. These cars nowadays are the newest cars that they've come out with. They got a little bit beefed up engine and suspension, and allows us to go out there and catch the bad guys and keep peace on the street.
Back then, they had to write everything down, and I'm taking from Adam 12 what I learned. You had to grab a hot sheet before you left every day to go out on patrol to see what cars were stolen or what were checked off. Today, with computer networking, it's a lot easier because they can send you reports and you can type in someone's information and look them up to see if they have a warrant out or something like that for an arrest or, stuff like that. Police cars have laptops these days. They are a lot more complex than they were when this was filmed. It's just amazing how beefed up they've gotten. In a way, it's kind of like a James Bond car, if you think about it. Now they have catapults or nets to catch cars. They have GPS devices they can shoot that will magnetize the car. They're getting crazy, if you ask me, in a way.
We're now at one of the biggest police driving schools in the country, just outside of Los Angeles, California.
Driving a police car isn't something you just go do. You have to learn how to do it right. This is where they come to learn how to react to emergency situations and to do that safely.
It's very hard to do, too.
During high-speed pursuits in wet conditions, cars are a little more difficult to handle.
Wow.
Police work is tough. There's a lot more than just driving cars or motorcycles. To become a police officer or deputy, cadets have to train very hard. They have to study hard too. And they have to get in top physical shape.
It's like martial arts class too.
Well, if you're a bad guy, this is where you're likely going to end up eventually.
If you commit a crime, you're arrested and taken to jail.
Yep.
This is your typical jail cell. It's not a very pleasant place to be. Come on in and we'll show you the amenities.
They have one toilet and one sink.
4 beds made out of steel.
Now, who would like to sleep on this cold thing?
And then there's the door, of course, and once they shut this, you're going nowhere.
Dave, how are we going to get out of here?
But you have a key.
No, I don't have the key. What do you mean I have the key?
Thought you had...
Of course I don't have the key. We're not even real deputies, and you think I don't have the key?
Call some officer.
Hello? This is Deputy Becky.
We're not real criminals. We're just pretending to be.
Oh dear. Locking themselves in jail with a demonstration. Good lord. That scene always got to me too. So what they don't mention though is the fact you have what's called jail and what's called prison, and there's a difference between the two. I do believe jail is more of a holding place where you go, or it's like for short-term crimes and for criminals, while prison is more of a long-term thing for like a longer sentence and stuff like that, depending on what the person is being charged with and whatnot, give or take. And they are really not good places to be. Some have exceptions, some don't, it just depends. And I hope all of you won't do anything to get yourselves locked up. I encourage all of you to stay safe and do what's right, don't do what's wrong. I hate to learn about people I know who are good people get locked up. Someone I know did go to jail for something I cannot say on my channel, and he'll be there for a long time, and I feel sorry for him because we were good friends, but he did that and I had to cut ties with him. But that's what happens.
Deputy Dave and Deputy Becky give you an assignment, just like your first day out of the academy, and you mess it up. We're going to give you one more assignment, and if you mess it up, you're going right back to the academy and start from day one.
Also, I'm sorry about the static, guys. I think this was a videotape they uploaded. But hey, I'm used to it because I grew up back in the 90s when videotapes were still big. I love this retro stuff, so I don't mind. This is nostalgic for me.
Hi, my name is Bill Schuster. I'm a deputy with Los Angeles County Sheriff's K-9 Unit. And at this time, I'd like you to meet my partner. Castor, here. Sit. This is my partner, Castor. He's a 6-year-old police dog, and he's been with me now for about 3.5 years. And the reason why we use police dogs is because of their nose. Their nose is about 1 million times stronger than a human being's, and their size. They're able to go into small places that maybe we can't go into, and they can work a lot faster than we can. Another part we use for a police dog is to find missing kids or missing people. A lot of times their nose being so strong that it is, they're able to go out and find people without us having to actually look for them ourselves. And he's always ready to go to work. So you ready to go to work? All right, let's go. Come on.
We'll see Castor at work a little later.
Sorry about the pixelation. Like I said, it's a videotape. Also, a fun fact, the LA Police Department was the first to use police dogs in history of the U.S. police departments in general. A lot of officers thought it was a dumb idea and it wouldn't work. But after demonstrations, they realized it's the right thing to have. So now most police departments, if not all of them, do use police dogs while they're out there on patrol. Well, they have canine units, I should say. So yeah, they can sniff out weapons, they can sniff out drugs, they can sniff out people. Yeah, a dog's nose is pretty powerful compared to a human's. Not that my nose is powerful, because I can smell things a lot of people can't. Horseback.
Seeing above ground level is important in police work, but they don't always fly to do it. Being up on horseback is a very special part of police work.
It's like the Lone Ranger.
One of the reasons we use horses in patrol is horses are very good for moving a lot of people. When we get into a situation where there's a big crowd and there's some place we don't want them to be, we can take a line of horses such as Snickers here and Gray here and put them in a line, and we can move people back out of a big area very fast. They're also very good for walking through cars and looking out over parking lots so we can see what's going on, because as you can see how much higher my partners are than I am right now. They're sitting up pretty high. Another thing about horses that we like is people like horses. When they're around horses, they look at policemen in a very positive image.
So in Texas, as you guys may know, it's cowboy country. We do have cowboys and cowgirls all over the place. I don't really see very many mounted horseback riders though here. I've seen them in Fort Worth and in the stockyards, but that's about it. A good place to see them is actually up in Canada. In fact, they're called Mounties. Seeing a police officer on horseback, I actually like, because it looks like a cowboy from the Old West. Police cars, motorcycles, horses, helicopters. You can use anything you want for police work.
Hi, Deputy Dave, Deputy Becky.
Hi.
Your assignment today is mounted patrol work. Your partner today will be Cotton.
Hey, Cotton, how you doing?
You've ridden horses before, haven't you?
Oh, sure.
Then
I think
you'll
I
be
ride
fine.
horses.
Go ahead and mount up. I'll hold them
Mount
for
up.
you.
Oh boy.
Mount
Come on, Dave. Wait a minute, hold on. You need some help?
You put your
Okay,
hand.
okay.
So put it forward.
I got it. Oh my gosh!
Oh dear.
Horses.
I think you better stick to something simpler.
Okay, that's not how you mount a horse. Although he was sitting on the right side, you always mount a horse from the left. They did that during the war, and that's a tradition cowboys keep. But you're supposed to put your leg in the stirrup, put your stomach down, swing your other leg over to the other stirrup, stand up, straighten up, and you're good to go. He just hopped up there and jumped off. I've been on a horse in a while, but even I know that's not how it's done. But good try, Dave, I'll give you that. So what do they have him do instead of riding a horse?
Whoop, wait a minute. This one.
Cleaning up after them. That's still a very important job, though. Because manure is fertilizer.
Deputy Dave, Deputy Becky, you did a pretty good job on your last assignment. So
Yes,
because
sir.
of that,
Thank you, sir.
we're going to give you another assignment. And that's going to be undercover. And I mean undercover.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, this. Oh, no. So this gives me Dragnet vibes. Tell you a little bit more about Dragnet. A man named Jack Webb came up with the idea for the series to take police case files from the LA Police Department and turn them into true stories, which they were. Started off as a radio show in the 40s, became a TV show in the 50s, and came back again in the 60s. He played a character named Sergeant Joe Friday, and I think if he saw this, I don't know what he would think. And by the way, you're going to see somebody you saw in There Goes a Train. I think it's the same guy. He was the one in the dining car that Dave threw the food all over. His acting is legendary.
This is Deputy Dave to Deputy Becky. I am currently in position in the dumpster. No sign of our suspect at this time. Over.
Deputy Dave, this is Deputy Becky. I am also in position with composite drawing in hand. However, there is no suspect at this time. 10-4, thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, over.
That's better. Deputy Dave, I'm going back into my position in the dumpster. Keep this radio frequency totally quiet until a suspect is spotted. Over.
10-4, thank you. I mean over.
Over.
Oh no. She's wearing a coat in the middle of summer. That is one of the worst disguises you can wear. There's no rain here. Oh my lord. That is out of place and suspicious. Undercover officers can wear anything from a nice suit to just regular casual clothes.
Deputy Davis, Deputy Becky. I have spotted the suspect. Oh, I have definitely spotted the suspect. He's walking towards the dumpster. He's getting closer. He is carrying a yellow cylinder-like object. He is getting closer. He is almost there. Oh, partner, get ready to the next one. Got out. He's there. He's at the dumpster now.
Oh no. Okay, this might be the same guy from There Goes a Train, but I could be wrong. It sounds like him, though. Well, we hear in a second. Let me know, guys. Is this the same one we saw in There Goes a Train or not? Same person.
Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? Police! I got him! I got him! Bad guys! I got the bad guys! Police! I got him! Police! I got him! Oh, police! Help! I got him! Help!
Deputy Dave! Deputy Dave! This is Deputy Becky! This is Deputy Becky! You got the wrong guy! Repeat, you got the wrong guy!
What do you mean the wrong guy?
Oh no!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. I'm sorry.
Leave me alone!
Everybody makes a mistake once in a while. I'm sorry, sir.
I'm calling the chief of police.
Don't do that. Please don't do that. I'm really sorry. Listen, you look great. I'm sorry. Everything's okay. Here's your garbage bag.
Look what you've done.
Here's your garbage bag. You can,
I want my garbage.
Fine.
I want my garbage.
Oh. We all make mistakes. It happens, but Lord have mercy, Dave. There are reports where they're wrong, and that has happened, and oh, good golly, it's always a mess.
Wherever people go, police use the best vehicle for the job, whether it's ATVs at the beach or bicycles in local neighborhoods. Deputies get to be outdoors, they get to help people, and enjoy their work.
So this is a good job where if you stay in school and don't abuse your body by taking drugs or other things that isn't really good for you, you can become one of us, which isn't that hard, and be here like we're doing this, and this job's great.
When people call 911 or your local emergency number, these dispatchers take the information. Then they send it out on radio so the closest officer can respond and help.
They even use boats on the water.
Police work doesn't always take place on land.
That's right. It also happens in the water, and these guys are called the Harbor Patrol.
So let's go find out what they do.
Hi, kids. Welcome aboard the Sheriff's Harbor Patrol boat. I'm Deputy Fred. I'd like to give you a tour. This is Deputy Wayne. We're working together today.
Hi, kids.
I'd like to show you all of the equipment we have on board. Here are all of the radios. You recognize the computer from the police car. Here's our radar that allows us to see when it's foggy out. And we have special equipment that can show us what's underneath the patrol boat. We have equipment that will tell us where we are, and we also carry special equipment on board. We carry a gun that doesn't shoot bullets, but it shoots rescue rope to another boat that may have broken down. So why don't we go boating?
Pretty cool. Phew, they're safe.
Deputy Dave, Deputy Becky, your first assignment is a fire drill. We want you to be able to handle a fire at sea. So if you'll grab the hose and walk it out to the end of the boat, we'll practice.
Okay.
No. Oh. No, you're not supposed to stand there on the edge. You're supposed to hold on. Becky. Yeah, even the Debbie's like, no.
Deputy Dave, Deputy Becky, here we are again. I hear you made a big splash down at the marina on this last assignment. Well, we're going to have to give you another assignment, and this is going to be one of those real special ones. And I do mean special.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
They should have practiced more before they did that. Getting on a boat. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Last time I checked, you don't sit on the edge of a boat like that. You stand inside where you won't fall off. That's what made me laugh when I was younger.
Hello, Deputy Becky. This canine patrol is all right.
It's pretty much.
Here, Caster. Here, take that bone. Yeah, like that.
247 David, that's us.
Hit the radio. Hit the radio.
247 David.
We have a report of a missing child in the park. Your job is to go find him. 10-4.
Assignment.
10-4.
Assignment.
All right, buckle.
Are you ready, Caster?
Turn the lights.
Lights on, siren.
Here we
Get out of here. Come on, Caster. Here we go.
Okay, hey, Caster, here we go.
Let's find Andy.
All right.
Come on, Caster boy. Whoa.
He's ready. Other way.
Look, maybe he's in here.
He must have gone down there.
Oh,
Go down here.
Here.
Come on,
He
Becky.
must be in there. Okay, this way.
So one thing I've wondered about, is this a training course they're on, or is it like a construction set, or did they build it specifically for this one scene? Because it kind of looks like a training course for police officers, this kind of obstacle they're going through. I could be wrong though, let me know in the comments what you guys think.
Good boy, Caster. Good boy. Good boy. You saved the day.
There's Andy.
Look at you.
There's little lost
There
Andy.
he is. You got him.
Way to go, Caster. You saved the day, you good boy. You made us heroes. So, Andy, what are you doing up there?
Nothing, just playing.
Well, why don't you come down and we'll take you home, okay?
Alright, but that dog won't bite me, will it?
No, that's Caster. He's a police dog. He's the one who found you. He's a
Alright.
nice dog. Come on down.
Deputy Dave, Deputy Becky, we're here again, but this time I'm proud of you. You kept trying, and you kept trying, and you succeeded. And I have a plaque to give you for a job well done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's go. Put up my back.
On your wall. That was a good wall.
This plaque is going on this wall.
Oh, of course. I knew that, sir.
I knew that, sir. Well, we hope you've enjoyed There Goes a Police Car, learning all about police officers, the great equipment they use, and their police dogs.
And if you'd like to learn more, you can visit your local library. And also remember, if you ever need help, don't hesitate in asking a police officer.
247, David, come in for a call.
247, David, that's us. See you next time.
Here we go, Captain.
Hello, I'm Sherman Block, the Sheriff of Los Angeles County. Some neighborhoods are patrolled by police officers, others by deputy sheriffs. But no matter what color uniform they wear or what shape their badge is, they're all there for the same reason, to provide safety for your community. I would encourage you, when you have a chance, to visit a police station or a sheriff's station. You'll find that you'll make many new friends and you'll come away with knowledge about how police and sheriffs operate. And don't forget, learn how to use the 911 system so that if you have an emergency, you can call so that we can help you and your family be safe.
Learn your local emergency number. It could be 911 or some other number. Call if you need help. But remember, only in a real emergency.
Glitch in the tape. Well, there you have it, guys. There goes a police car. So, what are my final thoughts on it? Well, I still enjoy it. But like I said, a lot of things have changed in police training over the years, and unfortunately a lot of police officers are, well, let's just say, a lot different. And from the videos I've seen of how they are acting around people, it's here and there. I'm not going to go into details because my channel is clean, but, you know, make your own judgment. But if you see a police officer, salute him, shake his hand, thank them for their services because they do work hard to protect us and keep us all safe. The ones who actually follow the law and the Constitution like they're supposed to. And also, don't forget the boys in blue who aren't around anymore. And I think Sergeant Friday, if he was here, he would have been proud of Dave for making this program. Although they don't really show you an actual police chase with somebody getting arrested, they really show what it does take to be a police officer, and they did a fine job making this program. And also, some of my other favorite police programs include Super Troopers, Super Troopers 2, and the Police Academy films. All great and all hilarious. Anyway, our next program we're going to look at is There Goes a Truck. So until next time, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please be safe around trains. And remember, the good Lord loves you. See y'all next time.